So, do you know who Holly Walther is?
Who doesn't know that name? She's a rock star.
Oh, she absolutely amazing. So for our listeners, loan officer used to live in Atlanta or the Atlanta area, and just recently, not too long ago, moved to the St. Augustine area. So really got it going on. Has for years. Just super nice person. Great marketer, great business person. So just a really good person to hang out with. Anyway, we were on the horn. We were doing a Zoom meeting the other day, just kind of bouncing ideas back and forth. And she just hired a an individual that's going to be primarily doing her calling, like calling her. So let me clarify. She's going to be doing kind of like a business development rep. That they're going to be she's going to be one of the things she's going to be doing is calling top producing real estate agents to set appointments with Holly, and they're going to do it in two primary locations, still back in the Atlanta area because that's where she's from. And then
Yeah.
also in the St. Augustine area, she wants to build her business up there. And we were just bouncing some numbers back and forth, and she was asking me, hey, how profitable is it having a caller?
Mm.
So I got out my calculator and punched in some numbers. This is remarkable. So you got your duct tape to
All right,
duct
hold
tape
on.
your you got your
Yep,
duct tape to duct tape your head on your shoulders here because this
I'm ready.
this mic could do some explosions here. So it's unbelievable numbers. So let's not talk about what would pay that person yet. Let's
Okay.
let's look at what this person would make us.
Okay.
Right. So before we talk, sometimes people say, well, what does that cost? That's a good question. But
Hmm.
first, what does it make?
Yeah.
And then if that number's interesting, now let's look at what it costs, right? So if you go, well, it makes $8,000 a year. Well, okay, well, that doesn't really move the needle, right? Check this out. So let's say we have somebody calling. So we're going to give them a list,
Hmm.
and we give them a list of whatever. Like in Holly's case, we're getting her a list of 1,000 qualified, and we're just using Richard Smith's, what's that called?
Qualified agent list.
Yeah,
Dot com.
qualifiedagent.list.com. So
Yep.
qualifiedagent.list.com. So I pay for the service sometimes for people, and Holly's one of those people for me. 'Cause we work on the same team, right? So it's in my best interest to if the queen bee wants to get fed, you feed her, right? That's
Hmm.
how that works, right? So so we're giving her a list of 1,000. We're giving her caller a list of 1,000 agents in Atlanta that did, we set the bar at one a month. So they did 12 buy sides in the last 12 months. And then we're doing the same thing in the St. Augustine. We're having to draw a little bit bigger of a circle in St. Augustine to get 1,000, but we're getting 1,000 qualified agents in the St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Palm Beach area. And so through qualifiedagent.list.com, we get that list like in 3 days. So it's awesome. We get their name, their phone number, their email address, like it got their cell phone,
Yeah, it
uh,
makes it real
what the
easy.
production is. It's nice. It's really nice. So anyway, so um, so we're giving a caller a thousand names in each one, and let's say this caller just sets one appointment a day.
All right. One a day.
Yep. And for Holly, her, and I'm using air quotes here, her coffee meetings are Zoom meetings. So she does them on Zoom, just like you and I, we're doing a
Yep.
Zoom right now. We record, that's how we do the podcast. Some of you watching this on YouTube. Some of you are just listening while you're on the treadmill or walking your dog around the neighborhood or whatever, driving to work or whatever. But Chris and I are on Zoom meeting. We just record it, strip out the audio, and that's our big fancy podcast mechanism, right? Nice and easy. So she's doing a Zoom meeting with these agents. And so the caller is all they have to do is set a Zoom appointment. So nobody has to drive and meet at the coffee shop. So it's a pretty easy yes. Let's just say
Yes.
it that way. It's or a
Got
lot easier. I like the face-to-face meetings, but we found the Zoom meetings work almost just as well, right? So anyway, so let's say this caller, we give them a list of 1,000 people, and all they do is call, let's just say 4 hours. So in 4 hours, you can call about 150 people, 150 to 160 on this thousand. There is zero chance, with the right script, of course,
Right.
which we've got, there is zero chance that that caller is not going to set one appointment out of 150 phone calls. Not going to happen, right? Not going to happen. Or that's been my experience, right? We can't make any promises here on the podcast. Well, Carl, you said you promised,
Yep.
and my attorney told me
Hey,
some.
if it doesn't happen, you got the wrong person.
If it
You
didn't
get
happen,
called.
you got the wrong person. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So, and it doesn't take, honestly, it doesn't take a fantastic person to make this happen. It just takes a not bad, like
And the
a
right
like
script, the
was
right offer.
in the right script, right? The script is almost as important as the caller, but we don't have to have this amazing caller. We just have to have one that doesn't suck, right? If you got one that doesn't suck, they call 150 people with this script. You're going. It's my belief, my experience that you're going to get at least one appointment. But let's just
Exactly.
say one a day. So that's five a week. Let's say two no show and you end up with three.
Okay. That's pretty standard.
Pretty standard, right? Some weeks all show, some weeks I wouldn't say none show, but yeah, but 3 out of 5 is little more than half show up, 70% ish is pretty safe. All right, so let's say three shows. All right, so you do that for that would be 12 show ups per month.
Per month.
Right?
Yeah.
You end up with 3 a week, 3 times 4 weeks, 12. So you're getting 12 Zoom show ups per week, and you're making the right offer on this Zoom call, right? We talk about how to do that. What does that meeting look like? What do you say, and how do you convert it to actual loans? Like we talk about all that. So so let's say so you're averaging 12 a month, and that callers make. You're not doing this call. You're just showing up the appointment. The caller
It's
is
on
setting
your
the appointment.
calendar. You show up to the Zoom.
That's
You're ready
right.
to have a conversation.
That's right. Call
Yep.
the caller, sends the link out, www, whatever, talk to Kristin. I'm just making that up. Talktokristin.com. Realtor, go to talktokristin.com. Kristin's really looking forward to meeting with you, and she's going to show you ABC 1, 2, 3, like whatever that is. And again, we'll show you what we do. So I've got 12 of those that show up per month, where the caller sets that up. And let's say I do that for a year, right? 12 each month times 12 months, that would be 144 for the year,
Mhm.
right? 144 meetings with top producing real estate agents. Well, let's say, and that's with a 30% no show. I'm,
Right.
I'm still at 144. Let's say you take a month off, right?
Okay.
Because I kind of do like December, and I've earned that right. The other 11 months out of the year, I put my war paint on, and we hustle, and we work hard. As I
Right.
know people listen to this, you know what I mean, because y'all do the same thing. Everybody's listening to this, or most of you. And so let's say we take a month off, and whether it's like in my case, a month of December, or let's say you take 2 weeks off in July with the kids, and then
Gonna
Chris,
say that's easy to do. You got a week around Christmas or
yeah,
Thanksgiving, and you got the
yeah,
week vacation, taking the kids back to school, like
spring
whatever.
break,
Right.
spring
Yeah.
break. So let's say a month. All right. So take a month off. So that means we have to take, some of those 144 away, and let's say you end up with 96.
Okay.
Just say.
All right.
So you end up with 96. So instead of 144, you take some vacation time, you end up with 96, somewhere in that neighborhood, right?
Got it.
Right. So now I'm going to tell you typical on these Zoom meetings, typically of the agents that we meet with, about 16% end up referring to us,
Mm.
right? The other
Yeah.
84%, not a match. They
That's such
get,
an eye-opening number when you share that. Yeah.
yeah, 16%, right? So you think, oh, that's not very high. Meet with all these realtors, only 16%, but wait until you plug the numbers in here,
I'm ready.
which by the way means 84% say no. Well, most don't. You're right, most don't, but
Mhm.
it's still a fantastic number. So 16% of the 96
Yep.
end up sending me business, right? So let's say that 16% of 96 is 15.
15.
I've got 15 top producing agents now referring me business at the end of a year, right? I'm picking up like one a month, something like that. But even at 15, it's kind of averaging sort of ish, like just one a month.
That's
And I've got a
wonderful.
caller that I'm paying that they're 4 hours a day. They're calling they're calling, these thousand people setting up these meetings with us, right? It's just a machine, right? So I end up with 96 people that show in the year, 16%, 16% of 96, 15-ish.
Mhm.
And let's say I now make, I don't know, we have to do an assumption here, $3,000 alone.
Okay.
So I've got 15 these are top producing agents, right? So they have closings every month, right? They do. Top producing agents. Well, Carl, my agents don't. Well, that's because you're not talking to the right people,
Yeah.
right? Easy math. You know what? So the average one of these are closing about two a month, by the way, two buyer sides per month. So let's say you just get half of those and you're getting that one. The other, they shopped you, they doing a loan with their nephew. They got $20 million at Bank of America. Bank of America offers them a sweetheart deal on their loans. Like whatever, you only get half of them. That would still be 15 closings a month now from this, from that one caller calling and setting one meeting a day, 30% no show. You take a month off and only 84% say no. That's still 15 closings a month. So if we do 15 times $3,000, we're talking about like 45 grand on top of what you're making. And this is with 30% no show, take a month off, 84% say no, all that into play, it's 46 grand a month or 45 grand a month. So now we come back. All right, what is that caller costing us? Well, that's a good question. I tell you a couple things that we found on the callers. And I don't know why this is, but I'm just going to give you the numbers. So we've done the VA thing.
Hmm.
And VA just means virtual assistant. So I could have a virtual assistant in Alabama or
Yep.
California or Nebraska. I'm in Florida here today. You're in Pennsylvania. So you could have a VA. How I could have a VA in Florida just working somewhere other, like they're not in my office. They don't clock in, right? They work virtually. But typically when we think of virtual assistants, we're thinking of typically, we're thinking in the Philippines. Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next. Now, I can tell you, Kristen, the Filipino people, you will not outwork those people. They are hard workers, right? They are, when it comes to work ethic, they are second to none, right? Just fantastic people. We have found, though, that as far as callers, that hasn't resulted in our best results.
Mm.
And so we find our best ones that we're the ones that we're getting, and I'm not going to, there's not a discussion of why, but the best ones that we're getting, I tell you, a good place is Canada. So we get good callers in Canada. I think we're an attractive place to work for Canadians because let's face it, half of the year it's really cold up there.
Yes.
And 4 months out of the year, 5 months, yeah, let's say 4 months out of the year, a little hard to drive around because it's icy. I don't care how apt you are in driving in the ice and snow. It's not as easy as not ice and snow, right?
Yeah.
And so for 4 months out of the year, instead of having to get out there when it's cold and putting on the park and driving to work on what might be slippery roads, if you work for me remotely, you don't have to do that, right? You can sit there right in your house or your apartment or your condo or your double wide or whatever, and make the calls for me. I don't care where you're at. And with the Canadian dollar being weak compared to the American dollar right now, we get about a 20% discount, because they're cheaper
Yep.
because a dollar goes further in Canada than it does in the United States. So I can hire somebody that might cost me $20 an hour here in the States. I might get for 16, 15, 16 in Canada and be outrageously good. We've got a couple callers just by chance. We got one in South Africa that's doing really well for us.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because one thing, the South Africans, they have a little bit of a British type accent, right? Because they're originally a colony. And so they got that little bit of spot. I'll tell you, mate, in their accent, which seems to work pretty good. And then we got another one in Jamaica that's doing us really well. Uh, pretty great. Like this person definitely has an accent, like the Jamaican accent, but it's not super strong. Just like I had a caller one time from Boston area that didn't work out. Hell, nobody could understand her. You know, I mean, other than when we called people in Boston, they felt like they were at home, but everybody
Yeah.
else, such a strong Boston accent, we
Yeah.
people had trouble. You know, we needed an interpreter somewhere around Virginia uh, to interpret in here, at least here to Florida anyway. But let's say we just get this VA in. I tell you what I would do, which is what I did. I went to Google and said, all right, give me the lowest the cheapest place to live in the United States, or what's the lowest average income? Give it to me by state, lowest to highest, and you're going to see on the lowest, it's going to be like Alabama, West Virginia, Mississippi. So I would start there, right?
Hmm.
Because it's not that those people are any slower or anything. It's just it's cheaper to buy a house and rent a house in Mississippi than it is San Diego, California,
Right.
right? And some would say San Diego's a better place to live, and some the people in Mississippi say Mississippi is, right? It's not a discussion about that, but it's simply we can get good quality people anywhere in the nation. Might as well go to where it's a little cheaper,
Hmm.
right? And so for the virtual assistant thing, I think I would start like right here in the good old US of A. It just seems like USA and Canada overall. And again, we got our South African, we got our Jamaican, but as a general rule, Canada and US is doing really well with callers, and not so much the Filipino market right now. So for whatever reason, right? We're not going to discuss that. So if I've got somebody that's making me 45 grand a month,
Hmm.
all right, I don't care what this person's getting paid. It's not 45 grand a month.
Yeah.
Right? And again, they should be able to do it about 4 hours a day. If they're calling 4 hours a day and can't set one appointment, like you said, using our script, you got the wrong person, right? No big deal. So that's been working out really well for us.
So the
Uh,
question isn't what is it costing you? What is it costing you to do it? It's what is it costing you not to?
that's exactly right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. And let's just throw out some numbers. Let's say, because again, we're hiring somebody that can work out of their house at their convenience. I don't care if they call the morning or afternoon. Frankly, I don't care what they do as long as they set me one appointment a day. If they set me one appointment in the first 30 minutes, I'll still pay you for half the day. I don't care. I'm not paying for your time. I'm paying for your results,
Mm.
right? Which by the way, so you go, all right, Carl, how long do you train them for? So I find, Kristen, that these callers, Um, boy, the good ones you don't have to train. Like they just kind of you say, "Hey, here's a script." And they go, "I got it. I got this." Because last week they were selling roofing for a roofing company, or aluminum siding for aluminum siding company. Like they're appointment setters.
Right.
And so great people. Hell, Chris and you. If I was to open up an air conditioning company tomorrow, the first person I'd hire would be you to help set appointments for air conditioners, right? Because it would take it'd take like 5 minutes. Here's the script. You go, I got this, right? I'm the same way. My guess is everybody listening to this podcast, same thing. Like we're all salespeople, right? We just happen to be selling mortgages, but no matter what we're selling, salespeople. So I would say the right people, you give them the script, you give them the list, and they got it. The first week, I cut them a little bit of slack, right? They're just getting ramped up. They're hearing the rebuttals. We hear the same four objections, when on the appointment setters, they get the same four objections over and over and over. And we go over all that in our scripts, right? But they get the same four objections 500 times. You don't get 500 objections, you get 500 times. And then but by the second week, I'm expecting an appointment per day or five for the week. And
Mm.
by the second week, if I don't have my five, we, they're not gonna, it's not gonna work out. Like it's not like, well, gee, maybe week seven it'll get better. It won't. Like it won't. If they because remember they're making like at least 100 calls a day, or if they get lucky, they get that one call on call 10. Awesome. I don't care what they do the rest of the day. I don't care. I'm not monitoring how many hours they work. I'm not monitoring how many phone calls they are. I'm just strictly, did you get my one appointment today? Awesome. See you tomorrow. If they go, again by the second week, if they're, and they sometimes they'll shoot a goose egg for the day and maybe even day two, but then day three they get three, and
Right,
it's just a law of averages. So let's just say we paid that person, let's say $15 an hour, and I'm doing my math here live. If we pay
right.
$15 an hour times 4 hours a day, times 4 days a week, because I don't do them on Fridays, right? So times four would be 200 and so that'd be $240 a week times four. So that'd be $960 a month, or let's say a grand. So I put a grand in a machine, 45 grand pops out. I'll
All day long.
I'll wear that machine out. Like I'll hire people to help me put $1,000 bills in that machine when $45,000 bills are popping out. So I don't know
Mhm.
why more people don't do the caller thing. It's incredibly profitable.
You know, this goes back to, I remember you telling me a story, and I think it was Perry. Was it Perry?
Belcher, uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love that man.
Yeah. And you just really do have to consider what is it costing you not to.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we just as a rule of thumb, I think most people look at it the opposite way. Which, for whatever reason, we've just been trained to think, okay, how much is this going to cost? And look, if you're kind of struggling in the business, that's sometimes that's a tough pill to swallow. That you have to put out some money to be able to make money. You say,
Hey,
write small checks to cash big checks.
you know what? So we're going to do everybody a huge favor here. So
Okay.
we're going to give you two things, and we're going to give you in completeness. Number one, we're going to give you the script for the caller to call with.
Okay.
And then number two, we're going to give you the script, and we're going to map out the meeting for you. So you
Mm,
need two things. You need actually three things. You need the script for the caller to set the appointment. Number
yes.
two, you need to know on that appointment, what do I talk about? And then number three, how do I turn that appointment into them sending me business, a closing a month, so that each one of those agents end up sending me business are worth 30, 40 grand each
Mm.
per year. Hell, I only need three of them to make an extra 100 grand a year. Three. Well, those numbers work for me. So all right. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to give you, here's the script of a caller. Here's the layout of the meeting. Here's how you turn that meeting into money. Here's how you turn that meeting into referrals. So where can they get on the horn with you, Kristen? Like what's the best website for you to give them these three things? Where do they go?
Yeah, dailysuccessplan.com.
So go to dailysuccessplan.com. And when you do that, when you get on, just remind, Kristen or myself or Luca or
There'll
whoever.
be a spot to say what you want to talk about.
Yeah, just tell them, hey, I want the three things. I want the script for the caller. I want the layout of the meeting. How do I do it on Zoom? And what do we talk about? And then how I turn that into loans. And you've got my promise. We can do all that on about like figure what do you think about a 30, 45 minute meeting?
We'll schedule an hour, but it doesn't have to be that long. It can be 30 to 45 minutes. But yeah.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So schedule time. Yeah, and don't do this call while you're driving down the road because we
Mm.
might be showing you stuff. We'll do a Zoom. You might want to do some screenshots of a couple things. So
You know what? I'll even give you one, but do you one better.
tell me.
If you know how many loans a month you want to be closing, like if you have a goal, I'll even work up a mini custom plan so that you know exactly how many meetings you got to have every month and how many appointments you got to set and how many new agents you need to be able to close that many loans a month. So,
Mm, love it. It's really simple. I'm
yeah,
convinced that a lot of loan officers don't, they shy away from the real estate agent. They just simply, it's not their fault. They just don't know what to say. That like nobody's ever mapped out. Here, you say this. I guarantee you, we have a script that they'll just love, and it's a very simple, it's a very simple plan that they're attracted like moths to a back porch light, as we say here in the South. So anyway, so datasuccessplan.com. Good conversations, Kristen.
Yeah, thanks so much, Carl. This is great.
All right, thank you. All right, gang. Hey, don't just sit on the sidelines. Let's play the game. And if we're gonna play, let's play hardball, Mike. Let's just you deserve it. It's a great time in the mortgage industry right now. We're seeing a lot of loan officers tap out because they're not taking action. And those that are staying in the game, gosh, they're doing really well right now. And we want to make sure that you're in that second group there because you deserve to be there. So datasuccessplan.com, and we'll talk to you when you call in.
Have a great day, everyone.